Maverick News presents The Rick Walker Show. Defrag your mind.
Okay, everybody, I'm here. And it took me a little time to wrap my head around what to do there, but we are firing on all cylinders now. All the channels were up and running, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Odyssey. We're all across the board, and also on Rumble. If you're not watching on Rumble, you're missing a lot because we've been broadcasting all day over on Rumble, and we continue to broadcast there right now as we've been covering the National Citizens Inquiry. For those of you just joining us now, our coverage has been going on all day long, and it continues right now because we are going to go to the phones so you guys can join the conversation. I do want to touch on a few news stories, though, before we get into the phone-in portion of the show. It is 9 o'clock, so we're going to run a little late tonight because the inquiry, they're always running late. And they're also in Saskatchewan. It's a 2-hour time difference. So it's 9 o'clock here. It's only 7 p.m. out there. That is why it's running so late this evening, but that's okay. What did I want to talk about? I wanted to say that Joe Biden has his aides say that he could announce his 2024 reelection bid as early as next week. So that's news coming down through the news wires tonight. And it looks like his announcement is probably going to come on Tuesday, because Democratic donors are being invited to Washington, D.C. with strategy sessions planned for later in the week. The White House has not been willing to comment on this, but there are media reports that seem to be very, very credible that suggest he is going to run or announce his reelection bid on Tuesday. So look for that. Biden is 80 years old. That makes him the oldest sitting president in history. If he gets the nomination, that means that when he goes into the next election, he will be 82. And that means that he would be like 86 when he wraps up his second term. And he seems to be faltering to me. He seems to be suffering from cognitive decline. That has got to be a major concern for voters, for the general public, and I would think also for the Democratic Party. Also tonight, charges have been dropped against Alec Baldwin in that fatal on-set shooting for that movie Rust. He's 65 years old, Baldwin. He was charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter after he shot and killed Helena Hutchins, who was 42. Happened in New Mexico in October of 2021. He was practicing a cross draw when the gun fired and the bullet hit the cinematographer and to director Joel Souza, who suffered a non-life-threatening injury on that day. However, the charges against Baldwin have been dismissed. The Santa Fe District Attorney's Office has not commented on the decision. So I guess that, at least for the moment, seems to bring that to a conclusion for Alec Baldwin. But a lot of attention was focused on the prop master, who was responsible for safety and caring for the weapons on set. So that's an update on that. What else do I have for you tonight? $100 million bank heist in Toronto, Pearson International Airport. Gold worth $100 million. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Huge amount of money. Let me see what the latest is on it for you. At least that's what we're being told. It was 100 million. I'm seeing other reports saying it's 20 million. Earlier reports said 100 million. A whole lot of gold, though. I know that. So I guess the dollar figure may have been adjusted as these reports came in, and police released more information. Peel Regional Police said the heist occurred actually on Monday when and they put it in quotation marks, a high value container was stolen from a holding cargo facility after it was taken off a plane that had landed at the airport. Wow. So they say an aircraft arrived at the airport in the early evening, and then, as per normal procedure, the aircraft was unloaded and cargo was transported from the aircraft to a holding cargo facility. And it was removed by illegal means, again in quotation marks. Do you think? Some speculation that organized crime might have been involved in this. And to let that kind of gold traveling around without proper security, wow. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so that dollar figure has been adjusted as of just a short time ago, because it was only maybe 2 hours ago when I had the information queued up here. And at that time, it was 100 million. And police have now adjusted that down to $20 million worth of gold and other high value items. So no information released yet from police on potential suspects, and they're not saying which airline was shipping the cargo, where the gold was headed, or where the plane came from. They're looking at all the different angles. And they are not releasing much information at all because that could compromise their investigation. Big story. Huge story, really. So we'll keep an eye on that one too. Also, those leaked Pentagon documents, leaked, stolen, whatever. That 21-year-old airman, Jack Teixeira, facing pretty lengthy prison term, a couple of charges, each of them carrying maximum sentence of 10 years in jail. Well, there's speculation out there and suggestions from people who have worked in the CIA on other live streams I've seen over the past day, suggesting that that leak might have been a controlled leak. It makes it really hard to know what to believe anymore when you hear all of these different stories. What we're hearing now is that it's possible the whole story, the narrative around the motivations for the release of those documents, the leak? That whole story we're hearing about the 21-year-old airman wanting to impress his friends, they're saying that could have all been cooked up. I don't know. Mainstream media is not really reporting on the contents of the documents. They're also, blurring out if they show them on screen. I've heard some, I haven't really been that critical of mainstream media for not showing the information. Other live streamers have been calling the New York Times even basically chicken, essentially, that they're afraid to show it, or that they're in bed with the lettered agencies, which I think is sort of true. But I haven't really seen any of the other independent live streamers post them on their websites either, especially when you see John Kirby standing up there at the podium at the White House saying it's not appropriate for those documents to be seen in public and they're not really supposed to be out there. It's sort of a veiled threat. Like, go ahead and publish them and we'll throw your ass in jail too. Here's my position on it. The documents are available online. Why do I need to take them from one place and post them on another when anyone that wants to find them can easily go and get them online already anyway? And if there's a threat against journalists from the government saying, a thinly veiled threat, mind you, how serious is it? I don't know, given that the information is already out there. But what is to be gained by republishing something that's already published if you're being told that you could get in trouble just for publishing it? Why poke the CIA in the eye, or the FBI, or the DOJ, or the federal government, or the military industrial complex? We can talk about it. I don't think I need to publish it here. I don't think it's worth the risk when the information is already out in the public domain. I don't need to duplicate it. Should the New York Times have published it? Should these other media outlets, as they're showing the documents, not be blurring it out so people can see it? Again, what's to be gained? It's all out there. That's kind of where I'm at now. The New York Times and Washington Post and Bellingcat, they pretty much hand delivered that 21-year-old kid to the authorities, or at least it appears that way. But I said early on, right from the very beginning, actually, I said, the whole thing, there has to be more to this. There's a lot that they're not telling us. Not even sure if the story is true. I don't know if the story about the 21-year-old airman is true. I don't know if the motivations are true. How can any of us actually know? We'll see what comes out in court as the evidence is presented. And I would think that evidence presented in court would have to be truthful, but with the track record in the United States, with the justice system and investigations into all of this kind of stuff, man, we've seen incidents in the past where people have been used as patsies, haven't we? By the deep state. Just look at Lee Harvey Oswald. He said he was a patsy. Why would they release these documents intentionally? Well, the word on the street is that some of those documents would never have been accessible to someone of that airman's rank. He doesn't have enough seniority, they say. I don't know. I do know this. I know governments today are employing really young guys to do a lot of their online hacking and security work. And a lot of them are actually kind of eccentric. They hire these guys freelance. I don't know what the deal is with this guy. He was in the military. He seems to have, he's had some access, I guess. I don't know to what level. If you believe story the way it's told, then he stole the documents and put them out there, either to impress his friends or maybe to expose information that was sensitive. This kind of information, I don't know why the government would put it out there. It appears to be very embarrassing. The whole thing is an embarrassment. But the speculation is it's to prepare the public for, I guess, a collapse of maybe the world and U.S. foreign policy. So I'll let you guys decide. I don't know, man. There's no way for us to really know anymore. All we know is what we get fed. And then we have to try to make some sense out of it and read between the lines sometimes. I hate trying to speculate when you really just don't have enough information. When the only information you're really getting is what they spoon feed you and what the mainstream media puts out. So I don't know. We do have those other interviews that have come forward from the other gamers who associated with Jack Teixeira. But even then, take it all with a grain of salt. I'm going to sit back, wait a little while, see what information comes out, and then make another assessment. I don't really want to say too much more about it one way or the other in terms of whether the documents are authentic or fake, or was it a controlled leak, or whether he really did steal them and put them out there, la, 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 la. I'm inclined to think, and I've already said this, I'm inclined to think they're real. Why they're out there, don't know. Maybe we'll find out in time. Also, yeah, Lori's neck of the woods, Oklahoma. There are more tornadoes down there. And at least 3 people are dead. 2 of the deaths were reported in or near Cole, a town of about 600 people south of Oklahoma City. And the person was transported to McLean County, Oklahoma, and died. The tornadoes displaced residents, damaged houses, other structures, left more than 14,000 people with their homes without power. Homes down there with no power. Rescue and recovery crews are still searching communities in and around the metropolitan area. And even now, I think there's still a tornado watch in effect in many parts of, in many areas around that zone in Oklahoma. It's been a pretty rough spring, a pretty rough storm season. In central Texas, a tornado warning was issued for Falls County, which is just outside Waco. That was until 5:45 Central Time, p.m. So still strong storms down in that area. So our thoughts are with Lori tonight and her family and all of the people down there in Oklahoma and Texas where it's been one rough storm season, a lot of damage. And as you know, Lori's home was damaged as well, her roof. And they're still trying to recover from that along with a lot of other people down there. And then there was all this activity today with SpaceX. Elon Musk and his SpaceX crew launched Starship. And this rocket was supposed to go for a trip around the world, but it only flew for about 4.5 minutes before it spun out of control, and then they blew it up. So you can see here's Musk's Twitter account. These are images and videos of the launch. Pretty cool stuff. So the rocket did fail, but Musk and his team say it isn't really a failure. The reason being, they said if it clears the launch pad and doesn't blow up, it's a success. That was the launch. So these rockets, this design, I guess this is what they want to use to take you humans to the moon and eventually Mars. But some of the engines didn't fire properly. And it's out of sight, baby. So they want to take you to Mars on that thing. Or the moon. Here's slow-mo of the launch. Pretty cool stuff. But it began to lose altitude, I guess, about 4 minutes in. And then because not all the engines were firing, it began to spin out of control. So they blew it up, self-destruct. And the pieces fell into the Gulf. Everybody was watching, was down the wall. The people in Pearson were down there on Padre Island, Corpus Christi, Texas. I love it down there. I actually wanted to live there. On the Gulf of Mexico. So that's what happened today with Elon Musk's SpaceX rocket. Here's another shot. So I think if I got my information correct, that rocket has more thrust, had more thrust till it blew up, or was supposed to have more thrust because not all the engines were firing, but more thrust than a Saturn V rocket, the old Saturn V. But I don't know, man. Personally, yeah, I'm not gonna get on one of them things until they get the bugs worked out. There were no people on there. There were no people aboard. It was unmanned. But the round the trip journey was cut just a little short. Yeah. However, you live and learn. And as somebody at the scene there said, they just have to practice a little bit more. Apparently so. So no tears shed. Just getting it up in the air, I guess, was the goal today. Musk says they learned a lot. And I guess it gets us all one step closer to Mars. I'll be right back.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull us out of rabbit holes. Are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News. Maverick News. Defending free speech. Free speech. Date at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow. Maybe too late. Too late. Too late. Too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, we have the phone lines set up. Here is the number to call if you would like to join in on the phone in portion of the show right now.
Join the conversation. Call 1.
Oh, it stopped running. Hang on.
Join the conversation. Call 1-833-975-3733. That's 1-833-975. Free. Speak up. Speak out. Make your voice heard. Maverick News. Fighting for freedom by defending your right to free speech. Be a Maverick. Join us.
And I'm back, and the phone lines are open. And let me just put the banner up here before we take our first call. Get these banners going here. Yeah. So also, just a reminder, we have been demonetized on YouTube. They are not happy with us, I guess. That's okay. They don't pay very well anyway. Even less now. So yeah, totally demonetized. If you want to support the channel, you can do that at freedomreporters.com. Freedomreporters.com takes you straight to the PayPal link. And you can call into the show right now and chat with us and all the other Mavericks out there at 1-833-975-3733. Let's go to the first call of the night. Who do we have on the line? Could it be?
You got the most assaulted man without a plan, the master of all disasters, the one, the only, the real deal, Leo. Your uncertified co-host, the most, with almost enough to say than Lori. Coming to you live, Rick. Can you hear me?
I can, sir. Loud and clear.
Well, the gold gone missing. Isn't that something else, eh?
That's a huge story, isn't it? And it's interesting to see the dollar amount was downshifted from 100 million to 20 million just a little while ago, but still a huge amount of money.
Well, if it's 3,600 pounds of gold, it's easy to the price of gold by the ounce. Okay, there's 16 ounces to a pound. With your calculator, you could figure out the cost of gold if there was 3,600 pounds on there, like they said. That's a lot of gold.
Yeah, big difference between 100 million and 20 million. There's an $80 million gap there, so I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there, but revised to 20 million. Looks like that's the move.
That might be, if even if they revise it, that's a big one. $20 million in today's world. $20 million. That's a lot of gold.
Well, yeah.
It was in a secure area. The funny thing, it's in a secure area in Pearson International Airport. Now, a secure area to me at Pearson is not only there's customs agents running around or whatever. The RCMP secure it, right? It's not Guardia security guards guarding like that much gold, that much money. Period. Okay, cameras always seem to falter.
Yep.
Okay, and that'll be a thing. Oh, the cameras were out that day, and we always hear that. Okay, when something big goes down, the cameras aren't working. They're working. They're working overtime actually trying
to make that work. So it's got to be an inside job somehow, I would think.
Yeah, I think so, Rick. I think it's a big scam. It's funny how the Ukrainians were in town the other day. now we're missing 3,600 pounds of gold.
That's a big.
It's called the backdoor deal. Okay, and it goes on a lot. That's a big backdoor, I'll tell you. And you're not just carrying that one person. It takes an army to carry 3,600 pounds of anything.
Wow. Man,
right. So,
like you could make a movie out of it.
Well, it sounds like sort of like the Goodfellas when the who was it? Burke and they made the movie The Goodfellas. And the gangster was Burke and Henry Hill. Yeah. Actually, the Lufthansa robbery, which was only what they say that was $14 million was the biggest heist they ever had at the airport ever, right? So this one tops it.
A great Canadian story, international intrigue.
It is. It is, and the nice thing about that is that if they do get caught, it's let's say it's $100 million or even $1 billion. The nice thing about Canadian law is you'll never go to jail for the rest of your life. Don't matter what you do in this country. Okay, you will always get out. You'll get a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time. You get chances over here, right? So you see some of the nastiest people that should be locked up for eternity being set free. Okay, and it's sickening. That's what it is. And when it comes to money crimes like that, well, there was no victim. Okay, no victim. You know, the most you see somebody get out of that deal will probably be, I call it the hook, 7.5 years. You get the hook at the most because there was no violence. Nobody was hurt. It's just just a robbery, Rick. That's all.
Just a
robbery.
All right, made a mistake. Error in judgment.
It's huge. It's huge, and it's sad to say the way that our the laws are over here in Canada, right? Because you guys said it's some, especially. Let's go back a couple days to the transgender person that sexually assaulted in my city at the Windsor Women's Ways today. Turned themselves in yesterday. Okay. Now we're not hearing any more about it. Was he or she put in a female facility at the Windsor jail?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Follow up on that. That whole thing just raises a lot of questions for me. The first one being, was it really just a guy pretending that he's transgender to get in there? I don't know. Who knows what the hell's going on?
The director of that place, her name is Lady Lafort. Okay, it's very nice people that run that place, and I've donated over time. I can't count how much money, how much food that I've given to the Women's Welcome Center, and I knew for years that they were also in the transgender business. Right? They just can't say no because of the laws. There's no place set up for transgender folks to find refuge or shelter. Okay, so if you identify as a female, okay, you're a female, right? And I'm not so sure that they like what happens, but it's the law, and they have to abide by the law because they are also government funded along with the public funding, right? So If they say no, they don't get the cash flow from the government, right?
Right. And I have to say, for
That's
legal
how it works.
reasons, that the person who turned him or herself in or whatever, those are allegations. They haven't been proven in court. And I'll say that too about the statement that Mark Friesen made earlier during the National Citizens Inquiry about the treatment he received at the Saskatchewan hospital. Those are allegations against the hospital that I think it's important for us to acknowledge have also not been proven in court. That's what his experience was, and I just want to clarify that too. Well, I have the opportunity, but back to you, Leo. Any other thoughts on that huge gold heist?
Well, not so much a gold heist. That's only money, right? That's a money crime. Nobody's going to go to jail for it in the end. Watch. I would like to see who was actually involved in it, right? Like I said, it's a secure area. There's cameras. There's cameras all around Pearson International Airport. Okay, the roadways, the Marriott, all those motels. There's cameras everywhere. Now, for some reason, the cameras weren't working. Who knows? Maybe that plane never even came with gold. Okay, if it came from another country, maybe there was nothing even on it, and it's an insurance scam at the end of the day. But the cameras will tell. There's so many. We live in a camera world, Rick.
Yes.
You can't tell me I can't break security at Pearson. Nobody can. You walk across the line, you got just like the casino, facial recognition. Okay, we're in a time past 9/11 where everything changed. Yeah. Everything changed. Okay, so I can't walk into any casino in the country. My face is recognized. Okay, and they all share intel. I'm kicked out of Caesars Windsor now because I was at a concert. I forgot to even mention this. I was at a concert about 6 months ago, and security was giving me a hard time, right? And it was the same girl picking on me, right? Just picking on me, more or less. Well, after a dozen beers, I had enough, okay? And they came and they said, well, you're not sitting in your right seat. I said, every time I go grab a beer or take a piss, I come back to my seat. Somebody's in my seat. It's not my job to eject people. That's your fucking job, okay? And she had the chin diaper on like the rest of them, okay? And I said, you know what? Take the chin diaper off. Can't even hear you. You know what I mean? Through your chin diaper. And they took offense to it anyways. And 3 days later, after I was home, and it was funny because I had a room at the Caesars Casino. I went back to my room. My wife says, "What happened?" I said, "I just left the concert hall." I told them all to fuck off, okay, and they could all fuck themselves, right? And I went back to my room. Then I went back down on the gaming floor, and I lost a couple bucks down there. I went to the bar, had a couple more beers because that place just overserves you. And then they blame you at the end of the day when you get too drunk, okay, and they eject you out of the casino. They didn't even eject me out of the casino. That's the funny thing. So when I was home 3 days later, I get a letter in the mail not to trespass on their properties. So, which is, you know what? They did me a solid. At the end of the day, you're not getting my money. Over the years since that place opened, I've put a lot of money into that place. You know, fortunately enough, I could say that I actually won my house playing blackjack there one night, and I was a lucky winner. I won $96K. Started out with $200, and I went home and bought a house. And it was funny. They had the purple $1,000 bills back then. My wife was like, "Where have you been for the last 36 hours?" And I laid down the purple bills, 96 of them on the bed. And she thought it was fake money, right? And I just laughed. And it wasn't fake. And the next day I ended up buying a house with it, right? I never bet on the house again. But they did me a favor anyways, and I don't need to go back to that place. But my face is in their facial recognition now. I can't even walk onto that property to even walk in the place to use the bathroom. My face is bing. Right, so if I go on the property,
is that no trespass order permanent?
No, they said I can appeal it after 6 months. I'm not the time to appeal it now, but like I said, they did me a favor. Okay, the wait times are. I don't even need to be going to next. You know, yeah, we get a lot of shows that I might miss, but you know what? I'd rather go to Niagara Falls or Aurelia and putting one up in Toronto now, up at Woodbine, probably the biggest casino in Canada. Will be at Woodbine. They're building it now, right?
Yeah.
So not only will they have the punk shows and shit there, but I don't need to hang around the Windsor Casino. I'm going to get in trouble there, so it is what it is, right? They just like to, and I've heard it from a lot of people where they like to overserve people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, get your money and then throw you out like you're a bum, right? I've seen it happen. Well, the sad thing is, I also seen this happen, and I have it on video, and I'm thinking about releasing it. About 4 years ago, Michael McDonald from the Doobie Brothers was playing at the casino, and I always wanted to see the Doobie Brothers or Michael McDonald. He's a great performer, and so my wife bought me tickets, and we went to the show, and my wife went outside to have a cigarette. So she leaves the concert hall. She comes back and she's shaking. She's petrified. I said, "What's wrong with you?" And she tells me what happened. She's seen, and she pulled out her phone. She was videotaping it, where you're allowed to videotape too in the casino, not on the gaming floor, but where she was behind the videotape. Okay. They threw some woman out of her wheelchair down on the floor, security, and they were manhandling her rough. So my wife videotaped it. Well, one of the security guards came up, grabbed her phone out of her hands and threatened her and all kinds of shit, right? So she came back down. So that just ruined my night. Okay. I go back upstairs. I said, "Who is it?" She says, "It was him and him." So I said, I'll say it on here because it's freedom of speech. And since you're on Rumble, I said, "You motherfuckers, you ever fucking lay a hand on my wife?" And I was going up and down on him, right? And the head of security at the time was Jerry Finnegan, who runs the whole security thing. They all know me. Okay, everybody in town knows me. I won the Detroit Golden Gloves. I like fighting. Okay, now you guys just got yourself into a fight, and I'm calling them a bunch of punks and bitches and everything else. Little did they know that the iPhone has the cloud, and that's how I got the video. So I called the next day, the casino, and they called me back. "Well, what can we do for you? What would you like?" I said, "I don't want a fucking thing from you people. I'm gonna release this fucking video of showing you guys manhandling a little old lady in a wheelchair. It's disgusting." And they just got so bent out of shape about it, Rick. They're like, "Well, we'll give you this and this and this. You can give me a free car. That ain't going to change my mind." Okay, the video's there. So I might release that video now that I'm expelled, right? Just show people how they treat their patrons at Caesars Windsor. I don't think they'll like it too much, but really at this point, I don't give a fuck, Rick. It is what it is. Treat your people right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm waiting with anticipation.
You're waiting for that video. I think you'll be the first to get it. You can release it. How's that sound?
Okay.
I can't wait for Saturday's show. I'm not going to tell you guys, but I think Rick's already got it booked up, if I'm correct, right?
Yes,
because he did contact me back.
Yeah.
And it's a good show, guys. But you're going to knock out not on this Saturday, okay? This guy's got to mix and mingle with John Belushi and the rest of them, okay? John Candy, Martin Short, you name it, and have fun.
Yeah,
Great
well,
story.
you can tell them it's all set up, and we can preview it. You go ahead and tell them who it is.
Well, it's Paul Hartman, and he's the brother of the late Phil Hartman, okay, from Saturday Night Live. And Phil Hartman actually did a lot of good movies and stuff in Hollywood, right? So it's his brother, and they were very close, okay? And he lived with his brother in Los Angeles, and he's got some good stories to tell, man. The guy's a good guy. I met him a long way through different channels a few years ago, and I actually have come down to Windsor and speak at one of my 420 festivals, and today is 420, folks. Happy 420 to all yous out there. And he came into Windsor from, I think he was in Vancouver at the time, and he flew into Windsor to speak along with other speakers, and we became friends, right? And he's a really good guy.
Yeah,
and you're gonna love his story.
And there's some really good reasons for us to be speaking with him as well. It isn't just let's just bring the guy on for no reason. There's an anniversary coming up that we'll tell you about during the interview, and there's some constructive reasons behind the interview as well. Things that I think will shed light on some social issues as well. So It'll be a worthwhile
100%
interview.
mental illness.
And a ton of, wow, what a life experience he's had. Wow.
Yes, it talks about the mental illness and what the government's really doing about it. You know, we all, I think we all know the answer to a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
As we see it, right? But he's a wonderful guy. You're gonna love this guy. He's very colorful. I guarantee you on that. And it opens the doors for you and a lot of others because he does know a lot of people, Rick. I was supposed to go on a podcast with a guy named Alan Park, who ran a show, Alan Park, very well known. And Alan ended up dying anyways before we could go up on the show. And but yeah, he's a good guy, Paul. You're gonna like him, guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a great interview on Saturday night, right here.
Saturday,
this channel.
hey, it's like Saturday Night Live, but it's going to be the Maverick Night Live.
Right. Yes, that's right. And thank you, Leo, for making that happen. He's the man who connected us, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for you to getting Terry Parker Jr. on too, eh?
Yeah.
And Terry Parker Jr. Yeah, he's another one. He's part of that the brain altering bullshit by the Canadian government that happened.
Yep. MK Ultra.
Right. MK Ultra, and he's actually the first guy they ever gave a license to grow marijuana to in Canada. I think it was in 2000, and he won a Supreme Court challenge for that, and it was for his epilepsy, right? So, and all the bullshit that happened with the government. So, hopefully he gets on. With that being said, Rick, I got to get back to work on my 420 day of work.
Okay, thank you, Leo. We'll move on to the next caller. Thank you. Have a great one. Okay, up here next. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Happy birthday to Lori.
Yes. I didn't know it was her birthday either.
Yeah.
This morning. Happy birthday to
Lori. Yeah,
yes.
I saw that earlier today, and I thought, I think I should call in, make sure all the Mavericks acknowledge that it was her birthday.
Thank you for
and I hope,
that.
Despite everything, she had a good birthday, and being an Earth sign and all too. That's wow. The Earth needs all the help it can get.
Yes, and with all the tornadoes down there, we're all hoping that she is safe.
Yeah, despite everything, hopefully she had a decent birthday and was able to treat herself to something nice and relaxing, and not under, maybe in the tub with a roof over it would be fantastic. Yeah.
She's working hard these
days. I know.
She's working really hard. She's posting a lot of stuff on her Twitter account, I noticed, and I suck at Twitter, by the way. I just.
Do you?
I do. I don't get it. I mean, I sort of get it, but I'm.
I'm rocking it.
Oh, yeah?
I'm rocking it. Oh, I didn't think I would, to be honest, because I hated it before. Yeah. But since Elon took it over, and I'm not getting spammed by porn galore and craziness, like I get to see. It's such an information highway. Like it's
porn galore.
Oh yeah,
they have porn on Twitter.
Yeah, it used to be. They did.
Oh
yeah. I used to get followed by porn sites all the time, and I just finally gave up. It was awful.
Well, no wonder nobody pays attention to what I say on Twitter. They're too busy looking at all the porn.
No, it's cleaned up. It's cleaned up. As far as I know, it's cleaned up because I haven't been hit by porn for a long time on there. But Facebook's another story. Anyway.
They don't have porn on Facebook.
You know, I got to tell you.
Do they have porn? They don't have porn on Facebook.
Of course they. Oh my good Lord. They don't get punished, but guess whose account is restricted again? Mine.
Well, why were you posting porn?
Well, it wasn't though.
Posting porn.
Yeah. Not me.
No.
I
don't think so.
No, I hardly if I breathe in Facebook's general direction on my app on my phone, I get restricted.
Right. No, they've never really bothered me over there too much. So I maybe I'm just.
Oh, you're lucky. Yeah. somehow I got on their radar. I don't know how. So I think they miss me, and then they have to slap that red banner. I mainly post about my cat. That's it. Other than, yeah, it's just bizarre. But anyway, National Post did a thing with Tam, and I don't know if you saw that, but they published the first reading with Public Health Agency of Canada reporting calls for toppling of capitalism and liberty. What in the world is someone like Tam, like, you got to read that and get back to us on your thoughts on that, because it just made my eyes cross. I mean, what the ever loving is Tam like outside of, whatever as a health officer?
So they did a story about her because she has previously made statements about toppling the free market, capitalism, and liberty in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Oh,
who do you think is running the country? It's a bunch of people like that. It's a whole bunch of them. They're all like that.
It's a madman misfits, really. I mean, it's just wow, but, and the gold, I mean, holy Hannah, yeah, that's quite a golden quinky ding too, isn't it? Yeah, all of it. It's like, oh my goodness. But you know what got me wondering as I was watching the proceedings today? Do you remember the 48 central bank executives that committed suicide on the same day?
When? Back during the
March
financial crisis?
16th. March 16th. What troubles me about that is like dead silence. We got crickets. Nothing has been said about it other than the initial, they called it.
You mean just this past March 16th?
Club. Yeah.
I wasn't aware that 16 top executives had all committed suicide the same day.
48 central bank executives. 48. 48. And they each of them used a 38 caliber handgun.
Are you sure?
They died within 48. Yeah.
Where is the source? Where did you get this?
On Routers. On Routers. Jim Morrison from Routers. Yeah, I guess I don't know how to say it.
I'm looking it up.
I only speak English. I don't even have a French accent anymore. Yeah. But I haven't heard anything more about that. It really kind of like mainstream media is so good at hiding stuff.
I'm not finding anything on this. My guess is, I folks, do not take that as gospel, because my guess is that's some sort of a false story, like probably complete fabrication. There's so much crap out there that doesn't even sound plausible to me. And if that had been the case, it would be all over the place. 48 people committing suicide. No, I don't think it's true.
Yeah.
I think it's just,
yeah.
You slap whatever label you want on it, but the bottom line is, I think that's just not true. But if someone can send me an article,
I hope not, because
I'll
it's
certainly
pretty
look at it.
huge.
But I'm just looking, and it doesn't come up at all. And if that was really the truth, it would come up, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I struggle with my searches because I'm finding that my searches are just so limited now.
I'm telling you, there is so much just fake crap out there. I get people sending me stuff every single day saying, look at this. And I have to sift through it, and I send the stuff back to folk, and I say, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a constant flow.
Well, I'd be very glad to know that wasn't true, because that just, it's.
I'm going with that because I
hope
can't find it. And if it was true, if that was true, it would be out there. 48. How many banks?
Yeah, 48.
48 banks. Losing.
I know, eh?
No,
but I mean,
it made me think about all the people that are resigning everywhere too, and I don't know. It's just like
people are more willing to jump the ship than face all the corruption that the government has created, basically, in one way, shape, or form. But yeah, someone sent that to me, and I was like, "Holy crap!" Like, is that for real? But
Yeah,
you know,
no.
I knew that if I mentioned it to you, that you know, you would either shoot it down or pop up with something real fast, because I couldn't, like, my searching, like I said, is like it's so limited. I'm so limited with what I can get up on my screen anymore with searching now. That's ridiculous. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but yikes.
Yeah, well, just always be skeptical, always be careful, look at the source, you know, and then, you know, and then see if you can find another report to kind of verify. That's what I always do, man. Like, I don't care where it comes from. I'm always looking for more verification, and not just parroting, because a lot of media outlets will grab a story from a media outlet and kind of regurgitate it. So
Right.
I'm always looking for, you know, like firsthand accounts or firsthand reports, not just regurgitators, because information in the news business flows from the top down, from like major newspapers like the New York Times, and then it flows down through the wire services to all the local, or all the way down to the smallest of the local media outlets, right? So that's kind of the way it works.
Yeah.
But you just have to be very, very careful.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that puts my mind at ease. Thank you. But yeah, if you get a chance to read that National Post article, I'd love to know your take on all of that. Because, I mean, I thought we heard the last attempt. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. It's like, oof.
So it's Teresa Tam, and she is talking about what? Well, I'll just see if it comes up.
Fundamental changes in our socio-economic structures. Whoa.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll look for it. Maybe I'll comment on it more tomorrow, if we can.
Yeah, if you have a chance to take a look at that, because I mean, I don't understand. I mean, why are we even still hearing from that person at this point, and especially in other aspects of stuff? So all of a sudden, as a health officer, which from what I know, they're not really a real. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that, but you know, now, you know, I guess because of climate change, you know, health. Oh, geez, Lord help us all. But
anyway, we better move on. I've got them stacked up, and it's getting late. So,
my eyes crossed.
Thank you for calling in, as
sure.
always. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. And yeah, pass on the birthday greetings and have a good night.
All right. Chat later. And
okay, bye.
I'm not sure who we have here. Who's up next? Go ahead.
Dave from St. Louis. Remember me?
How are you tonight?
Hello?
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got a few things to talk about, and one you may be really interested in because it's a big topic right now.
Okay.
I served in the military, and I had a top secret security clearance. I handled very sensitive material. I had a top secret at 19 years old. So I know a lot about what's going on here. I will never divulge anything top secret ever, or, you know, do anything wrong like that. I will say that, but I can tell you how kind of this stuff kind of works.
Okay.
What they do is when you first sign up and you figure out what you want to do, you get into what's called your rating, your job. And then they'll do what's called a background investigation behind you. They'll literally talk to your preschool teacher all the way up to, you know, everybody. And back then, it literally cost like $250,000 to do these things. But I am not exactly sure what went on with that gentleman. I know that we are allowed to be around classified material. And I don't know if you've noticed, but it doesn't happen that often. I mean, we got like one guy here after how many years? You know what I mean? So, and if you look at the military, I think they figured out that it's like around 60 to 80% of all of our information is at least confidential. And then it's not just that you have a top secret security clearance. So I worked in places where literally my roommate had a top secret security clearance and I had one, but we couldn't go in each other's workplaces. And the reason why is because we didn't have a need to know. So when you mess with things, you're not just, oh, you got a top secret, so you can just look at everything. Nothing works that way.
Right.
Everything is compartmentalized, and you may get a little bit of stuff here and there. And then if you do let something out, the punishment is what kind of damages you commit. If somebody got hurt or killed out of it, they could literally put you in death or in prison for life because you created great damage with the information that you did. I don't know what was exactly on that guy's mind or what he shared. I am noticing a couple things, and they're kind of stringing together here, and you've been talking about them, and they seem like different things. But I see the elite going after the big power grab. They're doing the calling with the jabs and all that. They're getting ready to shift the money over to the CBDC, one world currency. And they're not just going to do it. They have to have things happen. And what they usually do is create a problem to where people will actually beg for it. And then it's not money even anymore. It's just credit somewhere. So they'll probably even make you feel better by, giving everybody $5,000 or something, whatever it is. That will get them into it. And they're trying to get these people in the 15-minute cities and all that. All this is Agenda 2021, 2030 stuff happening. And if you step out far enough, you can see the events and things happening. So like way back when, if you think about it, like old school, and even some of the older people, they watched the news and that was their only form of information. And I think we found out here recently that the news has probably always been that way, but now we're just finding out. So now they have to get in, and we have other sources like you and people calling in, talking and taking pictures and doing different things. So now they have to still control the information, and it's so important to control the information. So that's like another big deal out of what's going on. And they have everybody, they're watching everybody, everything you do, and there's not really anything you can do about it. Your phone, when it's off sitting by you, your phone's listening to you. You can't even take the batteries out of them anymore. You can turn them off and we can still pick that stuff up.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how well and the things that we can do. Now, like I said, again, I don't even know what that kid shared, but I can tell you that 99.999% of the people that do what we do, we love our country very much. And we would never, ever do anything like that. And we do. I heard people laughing about how young we are. Well, we can get killed in battle at 17, 18, 19. And that's just fine, I guess. But, at some point you have to have trust somebody. And that's why they have, the background information and all that, and they compartmentalize everything. So, that's kind of like how that stuff works. I don't know if people really know. And that's what's kind of frustrating for us because, people just put stuff out there and they say all these things and they really don't know how it works. I mean, I worked in certain areas where there were literally only like 10 or 20 people that could go around with stuff I was around, and I kicked officers out of my space. And I told them, you have to go. And I even had them get mad. And the captain was even watching one time and he chewed him a new butt. And he made him stand watches for a whole month because he told him he didn't know his job. And he said, he told you to get out of there. You don't have a need to know. It's not even about your rank. It's about your need to know who works with that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that helped with anything or if anybody doesn't understand those things. But that's kind of how it works. I don't know if you have questions about it either.
I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the policies, procedures when it comes to top secret information, how it's handled. I've never worked in an environment like that. So I really just don't know, which is why I'm sitting here tonight saying I'm just telling you people what has happened out there, right? So you have a lot more insight than I do. I just ask you this, does it sound plausible, the story that we're being told, that this young guy, 21 years old, had access, took these photographs or got the documents out, was doing it maybe to impress his friends? Does that even sound real to you?
So I haven't been in recently, and I do not know if they allow them to bring cameras or phones in their spaces. I know that back when I was in, they would never allow anything like that. And actually, when we'd sit at lunch and other things, we couldn't even talk about work or anything else because of what we did, you know. So we talked about other things, football, baseball, whatever. But I would have to see exactly what was said about it and all that. But I would say that if he got his phone in there and was able, he might have been able to take, you know, a couple of snaps or something. But I don't know the whole story or what it was. I just do know how things do work. And you can actually look up an old case, and we learned a lot because we had this happen a long time ago. There's a guy called Walker, and he sold us out big time. So what they did was we learned a lot of things from our mistakes back then. So, I mean, not just anybody can walk in our spaces either. You have to you put your hand in this thing and you can't even see it, and you press in this combination to get in. And then you open this, it looks like a jail gate door thing. And when people come to the door, I mean, this stuff it's tightened up. And when you mess with other things, not one person has a combination. It'll have two combinations on it. Not even the captain, not even the president of the United States has both those combinations. You know, somebody has the other one, and that's how we're set up. I mean, we're really, really serious and strict about this.
Yeah.
So, like I said again, without knowing exactly what that kid did, and I don't know if they're allowing it, but we would never do that back when we no. And there's no way any of us would ever do anything like that. And like I said, that out of all this time, you know, besides this kid here and then Walker way back then, you know, we just don't do this stuff, man. I mean, we love our country and we love our job, and we're really serious about it. We don't do that.
You know what bothers me about the
So
story?
I don't know.
Is you
Yeah,
would
go
have
ahead.
to be supremely stupid to do it. To take that information and then put it on the internet, on Discord. I mean, how incredible!
So what's that?
You're going to get caught. Duh. Why would anyone?
Well, so look at it from another way too, and this is what it makes me think about. Honestly, nothing gets out most of the time that they don't want, typically, and like we're talking about, they control the info. So, is there something about Discord? Are they trying to find a reason where they gotta get more reasons to get into people's stuff out of our safety and security? I mean, is that what it's for? You know, I mean, look at 911, and then you had the Patriot Act about all that. Yeah. For everything that happens, more and more freedoms and things get stripped away from us, and all these different reasons. It's always for our safety and security.
Yeah, good point.
So I don't know about that. That's why I'm still not answering everything about it. But I do know that, you know, I personally think the WEF and these head people rule everything. So they want to try to gather any and everybody's information and put us in different groups. I honestly think the reason everything is still going before they shut the internet or power off, they're trying to find out who falls in what group right now.
Well, I think that what you're saying makes more sense than what I'm hearing from the mainstream media. Which makes me think that 21-year-old
we don't do that. Yeah.
You know, they must be using that guy as a fall guy. There's something weird about it. It doesn't smell right.
You got to put a name and a face to something, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. So whether he's actually
would
end up in
people
jail,
want to feel like, oh God, well, You know, I already heard people say, "Oh, we're making fun of them." You know, how stupid is the U.S. to give the young kid this and that, and then all these different things, and it goes along with it, and eventually you'll have the people saying, "Yeah, man, that was stupid. We want to be protected. We want to. I don't do nothing. I don't do nothing wrong. I don't have nothing to hide. Anybody can just look and do whatever they want with me." And that's how a lot of people think. But I mean, what about your privacy, your God-given right, you know, to be a free individual as soon as you step on this earth? And we have something else that's just working here that I don't necessarily like or agree with it. And then I hear things like the Great Reset and Build Back Better. Well, build back better from what? Right. Reset from what? Right. Things got to go to zero or something big or what? From what?
Right.
And then this global warming. Just look up in the sky at them airplanes spraying all that crap. It's called chemtrails. The weather ain't changed. When I was a kid, they told me we were going to have an ice age. I don't know how much older you are than me or around the same age, but they told me we were going to have an ice age.
Yeah, so, I remember that too.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think I have it here anymore. I used to have a Time magazine year in review. It was a hardcover book, 1977. And in that book, on one page, it was reprinted portions of Time magazine articles from the previous year, right? That they were selling as a collection. And you would, on one page, it was about the climate cooling globally, and they were predicting we were going to end up in an ice age. And then you flip the page, and on the very next page, there's another article about global warming and how the planet is going to warm. I kid you not. I gotta find that book if it's still around here.
I know. And that's why they're having a big problem now, and what I was telling you about, because before they controlled the news, which they still do.
Yeah.
But now that we have the internet with all this other stuff, now they have to just send out all kinds of information or call things disinformation. It's still about controlling the information.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. You hear things like, well, nothing gets out of China. Well, how do we see all these videos and all this stuff that they want to see that's going bad there then? How did that get out?
I don't know.
You know, I mean, which is it? Does it not get out, or just the things that are bad that they want to make sure it affects us because they want to control us by fear? You know, and there's a great president that said, you know, that we're not supposed to do that. And the truth will always ring out. It will always ring true. And that's what they're trying to avoid big time. Yeah. But it's coming out and more people are waking up.
Well, sir,
so I don't know what that kid did, and I hope he don't get that much time. And I'm sorry, I'll let you go, but yeah, we love our job, and we don't. I mean, 99.999. I'm serious. So, God bless all you guys. God bless Canada.
And thank you for calling all the way from St. Louis. Appreciate it as always. Have a great day, sir. Bye. All right, who do we have on the line here next? Is it Sandy?
Hey, Rick, how are you?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Happy birthday, Lori.
Yes, I don't know if she's watching or
not. Happy birthday to you. Oh, she's a doll.
Yes, she is.
She's such a doll.
Helpful.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be honest with you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. No worries.
Go ahead.
No worries.
I can take it.
So I was out. Okay. I was out today, and I have some footage for you, but I don't know how to send it. I have a new phone, so bear with me.
Okay.
So there's a strike going on.
Yes, I know. A federal workers' strike in Canada. 155,000 of them.
And maybe possibly more.
Could be.
So I'm learning about this, and I took some footage today, and I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
Why? What happened?
really serious happened. I was just shocked because I've been trying to do my passport.
Yeah. Not going to do it right now.
I can do it online.
Yeah, probably still be a delay with that even, I would think, but yeah.
Even that, there would probably be 8 weeks for the mail to come through.
Yeah, real human beings have to intervene at some point. It can't all be just done on the computer. But anyway, what was it about today?
Yeah.
What happened that really got your attention? What were you expecting? Or
well, I was just going for my walk. I was doing an errand, and I come across the Service Canada Center.
Yeah.
And they're all standing out there, and they're waving flags, and they were.
Yep.
I don't know.
They had a picket line set up. That's what it is.
They had a picket line set up.
Yes. That's what you do when you go on strike. You set up a picket line and walk around. That's what happens
when you go on strike.
You get a stick and a piece of Bristol board and you write, "Hell no, we won't go.
Hell no, we won't go." Absolutely. So you had a really good show tonight, and I was following it for a while. And your last caller was really good. He said a lot.
Yeah.
And the lady caller, she said a lot. And you know what? I'm a Maverick fan.
You're not just a Maverick fan. You are a Maverick.
Well, you know what? I hope you'll adopt me.
Have I knighted you yet? Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. You knighted me. Yes, it's okay. Don't worry. But you know what? I'm learning about this Elon Musk and the space station thing.
Yeah. SpaceX.
I don't know about this
Starship thing. What about him?
Yeah, I don't know about this dude. I've been very unpredictable about this dude because he is trouble.
Why?
He's trouble. He's a troublemaker.
Okay.
I want to say the word. I'm going to say the word. I don't want to say it, but you know what? He's a con artist.
Con artist? Why would you say that?
He's trying to get rich fast.
He already is rich.
He's trying to get rich fast.
He's one of the richest.
No, he's not.
No? He had enough money to buy Twitter.
You know why?
Why?
You know what? That's why. You know what? He posted earlier. He posted. I don't even follow tweet. I don't even follow Twitter.
Okay.
Do you know what he posted earlier?
You tell me. What did he post?
It was a couple of weeks ago. If you make a deal with the devil, that's all I'm saying.
Is that what he wrote? Or are you saying
he wrote, "Make a deal with the devil"?
Okay. Didn't see that. Don't know what it's about.
You know what? I don't want to know, and I don't want to follow him. I don't want anything to do with the man. He is a con artist, and he's a professional.
Do you want me to tell you a really good conspiracy theory?
Sure.
Okay. Elon Musk is an alien. And what has really happened is he's flown here from planet X. He hid his real spaceship. And what he's doing is he's infiltrated the government. And all those people working at SpaceX are also aliens. And they actually live in the center of the earth. And they fly down there every night and go into the center of the earth through the Antarctic. Okay. And they live in the center of the earth and they come back out like insects, and then they put on their human skin and they go into the SpaceX headquarters there and they work on their rocket ships. And what they're really planning to do is once they get these rocket ships all set up, and they need to make really big ones, bigger than the one he came here on. So they're developing new technology so that they can transport huge numbers of human beings. They're going to kidnap us all the human beings that they can fit into these starships that they're launching, and they're going to fly people to Mars, and then they're going to colonize Mars with these people. But they're not really going to colonize there. They're going to farm the people, which they're going to trick everybody to go there so that they can farm the humans and cultivate them so that the insect people from Planet X, led by Elon Musk, can actually eat the brains of the humans on Mars.
He wants to eat the brain cells of the humans and the bugs.
That's right. And because what they do is that the little Elon Musk's insects on Mars, what they do is they crawl in through your ear, and then they slowly wrap themselves around your cerebral cortex, and slowly over time, just in a very short period of time, it renders you very susceptible to suggest. Oh, wait a second. That was Star Trek. Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan with Ricardo Montalban. I'm mixing up my conspiracy stories with science fiction movies. I'm sorry. But if you haven't seen, if you haven't seen Star Trek II, I think it's the best Star Trek film of all of them. It's probably the best Star Trek. Yeah.
That's Elon Musk.
That's the whole problem. See? Yeah.
That's what's going on right now.
He's an alien from Planet X.
Disgusting. He is an alien. He is disgusting. I want nothing to do with the man. And you know what? The more I learn about him, the less I want to know.
Okay. All right. Well, that's been an entertaining call.
And you know what? It's just so, he's using a lot of people. He is abusing a lot of people, and he's pretty much almost like Trump.
He has a mouth like Trump?
Need I say more?
No, I don't think you have to say anything more.
He's using people like Trump.
He's using people.
No, he's using people.
Well, of course he's using people. He wants to eat their brains.
He wants to eat their brain cells. He wants to absorb it. He's like as you said, he's like an alien, and he wants to absorb it.
That's right. Yes. Through osmosis.
So give it time. Yeah. Give it time, and eventually we will be reading about him in the paper too, and he will be along with Trump. And how many years will he be in prison?
I don't know. I
guess
we'll just have to sit back and watch.
I'm praying
watch
for
the
it,
circus.
because you know what? If Musk goes to prison, then you know what? A lot of people will be saved, because Elon Musk is the devil.
He's the devil. Well, he could be.
He's the devil's advocate.
Devil, yeah. I think he might be the devil's advocate. I'm not sure if he's the devil himself, but he may well be the devil's advocate.
Oh, he's rolling the dice, and he's rolling the dice big time. And I do not like the man. I can't stand him.
Okay. Well, you're entitled to your opinion. That's for sure. So I take it you don't want to buy a Tesla.
No, I don't want any of it. I don't want nothing to do with it. Sure. And I will say this, next time I call, we will talk about Hollywood.
Okay.
And there's a big topic going on right now in Hollywood. And there's a lot of topics going on in the world, and I will catch you up on it. Okay. And you know what? I'm not scared to speak up.
Okay. Well, save that information. Don't reveal any of it tonight. We have to keep everyone waiting in anticipation. We're going to build up the suspense. It's going to be a big show
the Maverick
when Sandy calls in to reveal all the secrets of Hollywood.
It's not Hollywood. It's the world.
No, it's Hollyweird. Hollyweird. All the deepest, darkest secrets direct from Hollyweird.
I love it. Hollyweird.
From the roots of Howard Hughes to Steven Spielberg and beyond. Hollyweird. The deepest, darkest, the sex, the drugs, the rock and roll. The silver screen on fire. Tonight with Sandy on the Maverick News Channel.
You got it. And you know what? I remember, what was his name? Oh, the porn guy.
The porn guy?
The Playboy dude. What was his name? He just passed away like a
Hugh
couple of years.
Hefner. Hugh Hefner. I was talking
Hugh
about
Hefner,
I was
yeah.
talking about Howard Hughes, who was one of the richest guys alive and a movie producer. Hugh Hefner was the guy who started Playboy.
Yeah, he started Playboy. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Hollywood element to Hugh Hefner
that was
too.
a couple of years ago.
A couple. Yeah.
Pardon?
That was a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Well, maybe there's something. Maybe there was something Hollywood about him. Hollyweird.
He was very much involved with Hollywood. He was
very much in Hollywood.
A lot of those Playboy playmates got roles in movies and TV shows. He made a lot of careers.
They certainly did.
Yep.
They certainly did, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
You're letting all that you're revealing too much of the Hollywood information already. You have to save it up. You've whet people's appetites. Now we have to just pull back. You gotta you can't reveal your whole hand here. You got to leave them wanting more. That's the way it works in the entertainment business. And if we're gonna, venture down the entertainment road here on Maverick News Channel, you got to leave them wanting more. Always leave them wanting more.
You got to leave them. You got to leave them, believe them.
Leave them, believe them.
Leave them, believe them.
Well, I don't know if anybody's believing us tonight, but it's certainly been entertaining. Thank you.
Or
Sandy.
leave it to Beaver.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite.
Leave it to the Beaver.
Shows. Leave it to Beaver.
Yes.
Yeah, with Eddie Haskell.
And leave it to the mouse, because you know what? He'll probably call in and he'll have something to say about it. Heads up. Love you too.
All right. Thank you, Sandy. It's been a pleasure as always. Have a great
night. You're welcome.
Okay.
All
see
right.
ya.
Don't
let the Planet X Elon Musk insects crawl into your ear and eat your brain tonight.
No. Okay. We'll talk. We'll talk.
Right. Okay.
We'll talk soon.
All right. You stay safe.
All right.
So,
cheers.
Bye.
You too. Stay safe.
Okay. There you have it. And that wasn't a conspiracy theory, man. That was for sure reality. In this year, 2023, darn right. Just remember, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just a conspiracy. Well, folks, it is now 10:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Long day. We've been on the air now for 11 and a half hours straight. Covering the National Citizens Inquiry and now taking your calls. And it's been fun. It's been fun. Thursday night. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. again, as we resume our coverage of the National Citizens Inquiry out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Day 2 of their 3-day stop there as part of their cross-country tour, looking at the Canadian federal and all government, all levels of government, really, the way they responded to the pandemic. Heart-wrenching testimony today from a number of stakeholders, people sharing their impact statements. Pretty heavy-duty testimony from Mark Friesen out in Saskatchewan, talking about getting COVID and the way he was treated at the hospital. That was heart-wrenching. And then that last lady, and I'm sorry, I forget her name off the top of my head, but talking about being diagnosed with bone cancer, going to a cafe, and then being confronted and I would say even harassed by the staff there over the mask issue. Yeah, and she made a good point. Something to think about overnight as we prepare to resume our coverage tomorrow. She made a good point. The pandemic, because of the government measures that were put in place, it made ordinary, everyday people who are otherwise powerless suddenly powerful. because it made just everyday average Canadians enforcers, snitches. It took people making minimum wage as greeters at stores and made them cops, COVID cops. And people responded to that in kind of strange ways in some cases. And then listening to those clips play too, those video clips tonight on through the day of the government officials out in Saskatchewan, those old video clips talking about, you know, the mask mandates, the unvaccinated. It really did make me think, you know, at what cost? Not just dollar figures, all of the social impacts of the government measures. At what cost? What has it cost us? What does it cost them? And as I said very briefly, and I don't know if many people have picked up on this, I think, you know, when you're looking at the political scene right now, I think it's already cost us the country. It's cost us our relationships. It has cost us, in some cases, our sanity for many people because of mental health issues. It's cost some people their lives, not COVID-related issues, but the unintended consequences of lockdowns, the depression, the suicides, medical issues that went undetected, like other cancers, heart disease, that ended up killing people because they didn't get the care that they needed because they were locked down instead of going to the hospital to get testing done. A lot of tests were canceled. But in an even larger sense, I think it's cost us the country. I've said that, you know, Canada as we've known it is dead. It's gone. That happened way back during the convoy when the Emergencies Act was invoked. And I think in the long run, it may well cost the politicians and bureaucrats their jobs, may cost them everything too, because of the pushback that's coming. It started. You can see it. I mean, you just think about it. You look at what's going on. You go back a year, just over a year ago, year and a half, people felt hopeless, like people who were upset with the government response felt like they had no recourse. There was nothing that we could do. We were losing, no way to win. But the people are pushing back slowly. It's growing. You're seeing the impact. And I think the people are going, you know, at some point, if they don't start to listen, they really need to start to listen. They're so obstinate. Even now, so obstinate. They really need to listen. If they don't, it won't be just the country that's gone. It'll be their jobs. And when I say the country is gone, I mean the Canada that we knew is not the Canada that we have. Things may appear to be back to normal for a lot of people, but it isn't. The people are damaged. The country is damaged. There's incalculable damage that has been done on so many levels in ways that we can't even describe. There's something heavy just hanging in the air all the time. And you can see it in the inhumane treatment that some of the people who testified today talked about, just going into stores. And even there are places I will not ever go back into because of the way people behaved during the pandemic. And to some degree, they still behave that way. It's still there. Relationships damaged, in some cases beyond repair, even within families. So tonight, I guess, pray for your country. Pray for the future. I'll be back tomorrow in the morning. 11 a.m. is when the coverage resumes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, spending your time here. Truly appreciate it. Catch you on the flip side.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.